Let's settle into a nice, comfortable, seated posture. Feet on the floor, shoulders aligned with the hips, and just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, and it's stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen your spine, breathe. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head and just notice the sensations there, just for a moment. And just relax. Allow some softness in. And then come to the face and just notice all the sensations in your face. And just move down the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, the temples, back of the head, back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly, and all of your limbs. A nice breath. Be aware of any sounds in your environment. Try not to follow them with the mind. So the YMCA, our room is this beautiful room. It's gorgeous. The light's really nice. The floor is really nice. But outside, the corridor is very busy. And we have a childcare center next to us. So this particular exercise we're doing right now, just allowing the sounds to be there, the ones in your environment, it's quite a test. So then notice if you do have sounds in your environment, like people, pets, whatever. Sort of allow your mind to initially tune into those sounds. And then bring your mind back in again and allow those sounds to be on the periphery. So your focus is inward on the breath. And then just notice the thoughts as they're arising. And just allow the thoughts to be there, trying not to follow with the mind again. And try not to make up stories or judge yourself. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, our strangers, the ones we don't like so much. And be aware that they can all change place at any time. They're all equal. They have this, everyone wants to be happy. No one wants to be unhappy. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so we can change that equally by creating positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want more. So logically, it makes sense to remove those karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to, this is the second of the four opponent powers. And this is refuge, reliance. So we start with refuge, and we're relying upon the Buddha, Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor. And he's got these methods that we can use to purify. And we're not wanting him to forgive us. We are purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. Has a beautiful radiant face. His eyes are sort of shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have this little section on compassion, also part of reliance. In order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people, people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think of those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you will result in suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. We start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and fills you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. So now feel so happy that your speech is completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on that switch, the light instantly dispels the darkness. So you can imagine the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness and bitterness, grudges, anger, depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, all of this, imagine it's instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajravawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi Mempiata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata Hompe, and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi Mempiata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata hompe and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified and imagine there's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one, and this is the determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So first of all, rejoice in your own efforts. Just pat yourself on the back. Just be really delighted with this incredible effort that you're doing. And this group has now become, it's kind of like powerful. The quality of your meditation, the quality of your mantras, your focus, your concentration. You know, just doing it night after night after night. It's having an effect. So no matter how down on yourself you might feel, you need to have some faith in the practice that you've been doing, the amount of effort that you've been putting in, and where you're at now compared to where you were for some of you 3 years ago. So, you know, we all have to keep working on things. So think of something. There's always something. Give yourself a little timeline that's doable. And think I'll just work on that little thing between now and tomorrow. So slowly we develop a wish. This aspiration becomes stronger and stronger to not harm. And then that just kind of flows through every single aspect of our life. Imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness a little bit. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created by doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then make a strong wish for the long lives of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for the long lives of all of your own individual teachers. And seems to be a lot of Geshis are flying around right now. So Marion won't be here tomorrow night because she's going to meet Geshe Dakpa, our Geshe from San Francisco at the airport. And I think you guys have all been, were you seeing Tenzin Zopa off today, Geshe Zopa? Somebody's coming, someone's going. Anyway, yeah.
He's leaving tomorrow morning.
So let's pray all the Geshis arrive, come and go safely. Okay. They're so precious. All right. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you for hosting, and I'll see you tomorrow.